This is a sneak peek of Prentice Hall's The Reader's Journey. This language arts program is for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We are going to look at 6th grade. When you receive your homeschool bundle, you'll receive a teacher's overview guide, a student workbook textbook, a big 3-ring binder where you'll have all your teacher's guides. There's going to be 6 guides, one for each unit. And you'll receive a whole bunch of chapter books that were pre-chosen to coincide with each unit. One thing to point out in the teacher's overview is this is where you can take a look at each unit and get a quick glimpse of all the skills that will be learned in each unit. Also at the beginning of this guide is, I thought, was a nice, just in a nutshell, look at the formatting of this language arts program. So quickly, you're going to be learning different reading skills. They'll be focusing on a different reading skill each unit. While you're reading your anchor book, you'll continue working on those reading skills, vocabulary, spelling and grammar. There's a writing workshop. You'll also be learning how to highlight your text, picking out those important pieces, how to write notes. You'll be able to have a chance to pick a free choice book. And then finally, you'll have a fun project that you can choose that will be like your culminating final project to wrap up each unit. Okay, so let's take a look at Unit 1. We're going to start with the teacher's guide. In each unit, there's going to be at the very beginning a planning guide. It's called A Unit at a Glance. This will show you what each lesson will encompass and what pages you're going to be working out of, the skills you'll be learning, and the days, how many days they have projected that each lesson will take. So this will be very helpful in your pre-planning of the unit. This particular unit, they are saying, will take a total of 30 days. You can also see that there's going to be different activities that are presented before the anchor book starts. Then as they're reading their first anchor book, the activities they'll be doing while they're reading, their mid-unit test, and then the point that they start their second free choice book. And then again, the activities they'll do while they're reading their second free choice book, their final project, and then their final assessment. Okay, so in this example for Unit 1, your first anchor book, you should plan that to take about 15 days, and then as well as your student free choice book, that will take about 15 days. Okay, so that's going to be very helpful at the beginning. Also, you'll see that they have a library list here of books that would go with this unit. Now they will give you an on-grade choice book. So this is their on-grade book for Unit 1. They'll also send you an above grade. So this book is your above grade for Unit 1. And they'll give you a 1 grade below level. So this would be the book for Unit 1, which is 1 grade below level. So you can just, decide where your child is at, decide what choice you think is best for them. There's other books here that they think would be good for this unit if you don't like the choices that they sent you. So just wanted to point that out, that's there. Also, one other thing I wanted to say, that whichever book you choose as your anchor book, if once you get to the free choice reading and you either don't have time to go to the library or you're just not sure what book to choose, I would suggest that you just go ahead and choose one of these other 2 that are left. You have them, you might as well use them. But it's up to you. It is a free choice. The other thing in the teacher's guide here is that it will give you some good ideas for building background knowledge, for teaching the lesson, for assessing the lesson, and also for differentiated instruction if you need some ideas there. And finally, the last thing you'll probably use the teacher's guide for is the answer keys. So everything that the student is doing in their textbook workbook, you will have the answers for right here. So let's take a look now at what your student will be looking at. So again, along with their anchor book, they're going to be working through this textbook workbook. A lot of great information. I'm going to break it up for you quickly here. So you'll have, you're going to start with your introduction to the genre that they're going to be working on. And you'll have some workbook pages, some reading to do. They'll introduce you to what reading skill will be focused on in this unit. They also throw in some of their own passages, some nonfiction, and different stories where they can highlight and pick out or work on comprehension and pick out important pieces of the information. There's going to be building vocabulary strategies. There's going to be, when you get to the point where you're going to start your anchor book, it shows you how to set up your reader's journal. So they'll be journaling while they're reading their anchor book, and they will also be doing this workbook while they're reading their anchor book. Okay, passages here again, like I said, we're marking the text. They're learning how to highlight important pieces of the text and make notes. Towards the end here, they'll come to some grammar and spelling work, to a writer's workshop. And then you'll come to a literature circle, which this is going to be a discussion of their anchor book. So this will just guide you in some questioning strategies or different things that you can open up some conversation about the book that they've been reading. Finally, you'll come to their mid-unit test. Again, at this point, they should be done with their first anchor book and getting ready to start either their free choice book or choosing from the other two that are left. You're going to start with one more new reading skill. So now it's fact and opinion. You'll be going through learning the reading skill again. You'll have another spelling and grammar portion. You'll have another writing workshop, another literature circle where you're talking about the book that they're reading. And then finally you'll get to the projects where they let you choose a project to display your, what you learned from your anchor book, and a reflection here that they encourage you to do on the free choice book that you chose. And this will be your final project for the unit. And then you'll end with the unit test. So that is how each unit is run. And I think that's it. So that is your sneak peek here of the reader's journey. If this interests you, or if you have further questions, please call me, Star Williams, at 503-758-3636.